Hey guys, so here at Mama's Junk Journal, we talk about our foster care journey as part of this parenting journey. And I wanted to talk to you today about a girl named Natasha and her short-lived stay with us and a funny story from that. But first I want to talk about these supplies. Again, McKay's, I got this paint book. It's just a book of different patterns and paintings. Oh, look at those cute scissors. My daughter gave them to me. And I'm just ripping the pages out of these beautiful coffee table books that nobody's ever going to look at. I got those in the free bin. Nope, actually, I think I got that one for 75 cents. But these beautiful blue patterns are just so cool to be able to use and rip and play with to create these beautiful mosaics, which tell a story. This story is pretty gross today. It's a fan favorite in my family's circle and at work. In fact, it's one of the favorite stories at work. They love to hear me tell it because I tend to gag a little bit with this. But let me get into the story. So Natasha, okay, that picture, I laid one of those static, pressure sticker pages against there, trying to just put a small pressure sticker against her face just so that I could protect her identity. And it smashed up against it and totally messed up the whole picture, but it'll work fine. Anyway, oh, and that other picture is of a dining room table. It's from a 1950s refrigerator manual. Isn't that cool? Anyway, Natasha and Prissy both came to us in the same night from the same house. It was an emergency placement from a home. It was a foster home that they had to pull all of the kids from it, 6 teenage girls, from the home at the same time because the male in the home was being inappropriate. Some of these really sad, tough situations, and you just really want to protect these kids from the evils out there. When their parents fail them and then the system fails them, it's pretty sad. But I digress. These girls came to us in the same night in an emergency placement, and Natasha was getting ready to age out of the system. So she just had a few weeks left before she would be able to go to her mom. She was determined to go live with her mother. So she was just biding her time with us, and it was fine. We got her into her doctor's appointments. We had her braces dealt with. She had some pretty big complications with her braces, and just kept her in school and just kind of, were her chums while she was with us, even though it was just for a short time. Prissy, on the other hand, as you can see her with my youngest there, Zoe, Prissy stayed with us forever. She's still with us. Not with us. She's a mama of her own, and she has kids of her own. I am Gigi to her children. But Natasha didn't stay. And so this story is a story about when Natasha turned 18. So they both were going to school at the school that was right by our house at the time. And Natasha wasn't going to wait to graduate. We had tried to talk her into it, and she was determined to leave on her 18th birthday. So we had no choice but to let her do that. And so we just kind of made the best of it we could. So we had, I'm sorry, my dog is crying for some reason. We just had to let her go. So she decided to move out the day of her 18th birthday. In the process of getting ready, she had a small fish tank that needed to be emptied down to a reasonable level to drive with. So she was, cleaning her room out, packing her stuff, getting her fish tank ready and stuff like that. Now, I will say that in our home, especially when we were fostering, we always made sure that we had dinner together. We always had sweet tea. We cooked, or sometimes we had takeout. But we would have dinner together. We would sit at the table and eat together. And we would set the table together. We would clean up together. And so that night was going to be no different. We, of course, everybody loves sweet tea. So we, of course, made sweet tea before dinner. and set the table. Well, Natasha decided not to stay for dinner that evening. She went ahead and decided to head for her mom's house. So we said goodbye to her and then sat down to eat. So this is where things get a little difficult and I start to feel a little bit sick at my stomach. So we have these beautiful green tea glasses. They're goblets, nice, thick, antique looking glasses. I'm sure you guys can picture them. And they're full of ice. And so Prissy goes and fills all the glasses with sweet tea. And we sit down and we say grace. And then I pick up my tea glass, take a big drink out of it. And I felt something brush against my lip. And I looked in there and there was like something floating in the glass. And I was like, what is that? There's something in my glass that's gross. Now, mind you, Prissy loves to make me throw up. She loves when I gag, and she thinks it's the funniest thing in the world if she can have a part of it. And so she starts laughing and carrying on like, oh, you gonna gag? And I was gagging already, not even knowing what it was. And I had taken a big drink and there was something in my tea. And I couldn't figure it out. And so then I was like, is it in your tea? And everybody else is checking their tea and nobody else really saw anything. But it was just this long string looking thing. And so I went and looked in the pitcher and there was like 3 or 4 more. And that's when it hit me. Guys, Natasha had cleaned her fish tank out with my tea pitcher. With my tea pitcher. Oh my gosh. It was so gross. There was fish poop in my sweet tea. Guys, I drank fish poop. Now, this many years. I mean, we're talking, it's been 18 years, 17 or 18 years since this happened. And my stomach is still churning thinking about it. It is so gross. I do not gag as much as I used to, but let me tell you, I ran to the bathroom and I vomited and vomited and vomited. It was so gross. There was fish poop floating in my tea. Now, this is so funny because Natasha wasn't even there for me to fuss at. She's gone. And it was almost like it was her final practical joke to play on me. Anyway, that's how fostering goes. We have kids that come and stay and they become permanent in our hearts and in our lives. And then we have those kids that are just there for an instant. They're a vapor in our lives and they come and go, but they leave their mark, sometimes in a really gross way, but in a very real way. And every once in a while, I do think about Natasha and I say a little prayer for her. And I wonder how she's doing. But man, these stories that are left behind, whew, I'm putting on here that the words are drink and fish, of course. So there's fish and drink. I cut off the part where it's like alcoholic drink or whatever off of the drink definition because it just didn't make it as funny. And then I put on there something about the story and how I don't want to remember it. But I do. I love remembering it. I love these memories. Knowing that we have been influenced and have influenced all of these kids through the years. It's really important. If you ever consider doing fostering, please remember that it is a big job. And you shouldn't go into it lightly because it'll wreck you. It'll wreck you. But it's also one of the most rewarding things you could ever do. Thanks for stopping by Mama's Junk Journal. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.